was there. Okay. For this, you see this spoon-shaped area in here, this empty concave part, that's fourth ventricle. So between here and here is medulla. I will remove a little bit of this. That is cerebellar peduncle. And here, so these three and these three are cerebellar peduncles. So it is middle. This part is called superior, this part inferior. Again, middle, superior, inferior. Now, when you get rid of those, then you see the tissue of the medulla, which is there. This is dorsal side of medulla, dorsal, right? The dorsal side of the medulla is concave like this. That is fourth ventricle, that space. Now, then, what they did before is down here would be spinal cord, right? Yeah, well, down from here down. If you take a look in here, remove the thick membranes. Between the two legs of this column in here is pyramid. There is another pyramid. So it is coming from here, going down. It's coming actually from cortex and going down. This is on the ventral side of the medulla. They are motor columns, right? You have this dura mater, you have this pineal gland, which is a part of, did I say pineal? No. Pituitary gland, which is on the ventral side of the brain, is attached to the medulla, to the hypothalamus. So
where are the pons?
Just pons are. You see, if between here, top in here, up to here would be midbrain. So pons are on the ventral side of the midbrain, which would be right below that, in here, this area, this bulgy, these two bulges.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but they are also the, okay, you can, this is the tectum, no, this is tegmentum of the midbrain. Tectum of midbrain would be these two, these four, superior and inferior collicula, which are the roof of the midbrain, right? Okay. Now, next thing, good for you that this is not cut yet, because now you can look at the lobes. It's easier than if it was cut, but what you will see, you want to do that yourself? Try to open this fissure, longitudinal fissure, to have a handout experience.
Do you want me to separate it all the way? Or just like
you
that?
will not be able, because, you see, because there is, it already is cut. For some reason it is very loose. Yeah, you can cut it now.
Okay.
But you know, this is frontal lobe in here.
Right.
This is occipital lobe in here.
Right.
These are temporal lobes and then parietal lobes. Now, as I said, in sheep, you don't see that central sulcus, which you can easily see on the model. Just you have to imagine that. So this is longitudinal fissure. The fissure which was between this and this one, is transverse fissure, this one. Transverse fissure, longitudinal fissure, frontal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe, and parietal lobe.
And then, what was the name of the fissure that was right here?
Transverse. Transverse fissure.
Wasn't there, what was the name of it? Started with a C?
Calcarine.
Yeah.
That calcarine?
Yeah, that
no,
one.
that calcarine is one of the fissures which is separating occipital from parietal in here.
Oh,
Again, you don't see.
Yeah, you don't see it on
no,
here.
No. If you are talking about calcarine, that you are not talking about corpus callosum, no?
No.
No, okay, you're talking about if a fissure is with a C, let me central, you're talking about central or what? Okay, now, okay, those fissures are in here and you don't see it in real thing. It's easier to find them over there. But the fissure which is between cerebellum and cerebrum is called transverse. This is this opening. In real life, the dura mater comes and goes down here and comes up, making a tent, tentorium cerebelli, right? But no, those are gone. Okay, now if you take this off, and remember this is pituitary gland, this round thing in here, this thing is pituitary gland. It will be attached to this point, tip of this in here, this point. And this thing in here is mammillary body. When I talk to you about limbic system, I will refer to mammillary body. This little bulgy thing. Now, let's see. What are these two cross? This one and this one, they cross each other like this. The rest of it is cut. It will continue, but it is cut in this specimen. It's called optic chiasm. Optic chiasm. These two bulbs, this one and this one, are olfactory bulbs. Olfactory bulb, which is connected to the first cranial nerve. This would be second one. So all you have to do now is to cut this to two halves and make sure that you go straight at the midline. Like when you get to this point, be at the middle when you're cutting. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Really good. Really good cut. Okay, let me show different parts that they have seen so far. This round thing in here is intermediate mass of thalamus. It's that band of gray matter which connects the right and left thalamus together. Intermediate mass of thalamus. If you pay attention, you see a very shallow groove in here. Round. This one and that one together make a very flattened ventricle, which is third ventricle. Okay? So this is fourth ventricle in here, third ventricle in the encephalon here.
So the third ventricle is this right here?
This is a portion of it, but also you see it goes all like this. It's like a...
Oh, it goes all the way around the
all
intermediate?
The way around. Yes,
okay.
yes, all the way around the intermediate.
Okay.
But it is so shallow that really a tenth of millimeter this way and that way cut, you cannot see the depth of it at all because the whole thing is very shallow. Anyway. So anyway, the location of it is in this area. It is not this one. It's not this. It's around here. And this is fourth. Lateral ventricles will be this one and that one. Now, the reason I'm not pushing on it is that it's covered by something called septum, a cutback through that septum. It is very transparent membranous thing which covers this lateral ventricle. Now I'm opening the lateral ventricle. The top of it is corpus callosum. I'm pinching it. This is corpus callosum, that white thing. And the bottom is fornix. It's another band. Then look, in here it becomes a little round. In here it is a little round. This and this are anterior and posterior commissure that I wrote on the board. But the bulk of it is corpus callosum, this whitish thing. Next week I will show you this gyrus in here.
What's the name of that gyrus?
Yeah, the cingulate gyrus. It starts with C. It's a part of limbic system. I want to talk about limbic system before I mention those things. That is cingulate gyrus. Actually, the septum is a part of, if you stimulate that membrane, it creates some physiological changes related to emotions. So, yeah. This, especially anterior part of it, this goes all the way like this to here. Especially this anterior part of it is very much involved in emotional reactions and getting physiological changes with that. Blood pressure goes up and down and all that. Anyway, there was another thing I wanted to mention. So this, is superior colliculus. This is inferior colliculus. There is another superior and inferior colliculus. Now, you see this round thing in here? This thing. Half of it stayed in this side. But that is pineal gland, which secretes melatonin. This looks like some blood.
Where's the
Hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. Okay. This is intermediate mass of thalamus in here. This V-shaped area, which is shiny, is hypothalamus. That will be connected to this gland, pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is connected to hypothalamus by some infundibulum. So this is mammillary body. Down here it is optic chiasm up here. Now, in addition, around near the pineal gland, this little tissue you see in here is a little different. It's habenula. Do you remember I talked about habenula? That is also involved in some emotional things. This is involved in emotional aspects of sense of smell somehow. And you, that part of it. Okay, now, so for today, where is the lateral ventricle, corpus callosum. This tissue that I will pinch with this bulgy thing inside the lateral ventricle, this one, is caudate nucleus, is one of the nuclei of the basal ganglia. It's a major nucleus of basal ganglia. It's inside the lateral ventricle like that. Also inside the ventricles, not only lateral ventricle, but other ventricles too, you will see a tissue, this thing I'm pulling out, see? That's choroid plexus. That secretes cerebrospinal fluid, fill out the ventricles. There is another one in this ventricle, there is another one in this ventricle. Obviously, they are washed out, but it's called choroid plexus. Yeah, I talked about cerebrospinal fluid in the lecture last time. This is the origin of secretion of cerebrospinal fluid from blood, into the ventricles. Now, another thing that you want to see is this thing. That they have some. Okay, now this is vermis. This portion between the two legs of this is vermis. This is intermediate mass, intermediate lobe. This is lateral lobe. So you can call the whole thing as lateral ones, but it has an intermediate portion and a lateral. But this worm-shaped area at the middle is called vermis, which you see is bends like this, goes all the way like that. Now, you cut the vermis at the midline of it, so that you see the gray and white matter of the cerebellum.
Wouldn't make a good surgeon.
You are a very good surgeon. Yeah. Okay, you see that whitish tree-shaped thing? That is orbul vitae. Yes. And then gray around it, around the branches of it, is gray matter. So obviously, deep nuclei of the cerebellum we cannot see unless we take slides and stain them, etc., etc. All you can see is orbul vitae and then gray matter. So this thing on the cerebellum between these two legs and another one, which continues all the way from one side to the other side, is called folia, or leaf. You will look at it now. So one is folium, more than one would be folia. So going all the way. So it's like similar to gyrus on this one, right? It's the folds, but it is much narrower and more frequent than over there. Okay. You have any question? Oh, what I didn't tell you was this lateral side of the medulla. You see the cerebellar peduncles, part of cerebellar peduncles. But this bulgy area which I'm pinching now is olive. This bulging here, is olive. It's another one the other side, right? So olives are on the lateral side, fourth ventricle on the dorsal side, pyramids on the ventral side of the medulla.
I always get olive and the pons confused because they both are like kind of severe.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because this bridge, it's diffusion of some of the fibers, but no, in this case, really, if I poke into this, go in like that, I'm poking into parts. Yeah. Yeah, okay, we'll show it to you in here. You see, this is pons. This area is pons. This would be the cerebellar peduncles contributing to this bulginess in here. But the pons is floor of the midbrain in here. Superior, inferior collicula are the roof of the midbrain. So these are on the roof. It is like midbrain is like this. You see it like this. The roof of it, and again in different species, this area is a little bit deeper or narrower.
Right.
In cat, I know a little deeper. It is a little deeper. In sheep, for some reason, it's not.
Thank you.
You ladies and gentlemen, do you need any help of me? Do you have any question? Anybody? Okay, you have any more question? Ask me.